Hello, my crafty friends. How's everyone doing today? This is Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. I'm so glad you're here to join with me in working on these mini cookbook journals. So today I'm working on the the hard covers. The other ones are like kind of like paperback journals that I worked on the other day, and I showed you these. And so today I'm reinforcing the spines on these and adding a little fabric to the spines. So this is the one I showed you the other day, and I use on the spine some Aida cloth, which looks like burlap, but it's Aida cloth, A-I-D-A, the kind of cloth you use when you're cross stitching. Yeah, I had found this at a thrift store. I love this color. And if I run out, I might have to actually buy some at the store if I don't find any more at the thrift store. But I did put it on the outside here. I think it looks really nice with this pattern here because I was trying to find some fabric to go with this and to see how it's crisscross, kind of like a plaid pattern. I just couldn't find any. A lot of my fabrics are, most of my fabrics are pattern, so it was hard for me to find another pattern that would go with this. I mean, I could have put something on here, but I don't think it would have been great. And when I put this on here, I thought it really looked nice. It gave it a homespun look. So this is what it looks like on the back and the sides, and the signature will be sewn in here. And unless I decide to put two signatures in here, I'm almost thinking about putting two really kind of thin signatures in here instead of one, because I do have a spine. It's not just a fold. So we'll see about that. But I was able to sew through this one. I don't know why, because I tried on the other ones and I had a really hard time. Then I tried on the next one. But here is the inside. So yeah, it's glued on and it's sewn on. So this sewing didn't go through right here, but it is there and there. So anyway, it is what it is as far as the sewing. These are hardbacks, but it went through here, like my sewing machine went through no problem, on its own power and everything. And then when I tried to do this one, I just had a really hard time. I did manage to sew on the bottom and the side and the top, but I couldn't get through this side. My needle it didn't break, but it kept coming out, and I don't know, I just gave up on it because I didn't want to mess this up. I mean, it looks fine the way it is. It doesn't have to be sewn on. I just, I like stitching, so I kind of thought it would be neat to put some stitching on there, but I stopped because I just was getting too difficult. So anyway, I used this red gingham on here because of the red raspberries. I just tried several other fabrics, and this one just really looked nice with the red raspberries. And here it is on the back, the side and the inside of that one. So I thought we'd do this next one. Here's one page for these journals so far. These three. I had a page that I thought would be perfect in there, so I did put it in there and got it ready. So this one, what I'm doing, see, these were the journals that I just took out in case you didn't see the other videos yet. I took out a metal spiral and kept it all together to use the original spine. So I'm reinforcing this. So I am putting a piece of cardboard on the front and the back. So it's like it's three layers if you count this layer here, even though it has holes in it. It is a layer, you know what I mean? So it is quite a thick spine by the time I get done, and quite sturdy. If you could feel it here, we could have feel-o-vision. This is quite a sturdy, thick spine on these journals. So let's go ahead and do this one. So what I'm doing is a piece of cardboard or chipboard, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of fitting it in here and figuring out where I need it to go into this spine, and then I'm cutting my piece. So I need two more pieces. This is what's left of the piece I've been using on the other journals. So I think I'm going to be able to get one more out of it. So I'm going to just cut over here. In case you can't see, I'm just cutting this piece of cardboard. And it might be too big at first. We'll see if it fits in here. Usually I cut it too big first and then I cut it down. I just would rather it be too big than too small. Yeah, I need a sliver off there. It's a little bit too big. It needs to fit inside of this spine. It can't go on the outside or I won't be able to bend the cover and, you know, open and close it. Let's try this a little with a little sliver off there, see how we do. Okay. And so for this one, for the fabric, it's either going to be the Aida cloth or the gingham, and I haven't decided yet. We're going to decide together in just a second. Okay, so is this fitting in there? Let's see. I kind of bend it and see if it's fitting down into the grooves there, and it seems to be a little thicker on the top than on the bottom. So this is not quite straight. It's hard to see, but I guess you can, if you look really close, you can see it's a little wider down here than up here. So I need to get that straightened out here. Let's see, let me turn it like this, line up my top and then my bottom with the lines here on my paper cutter, and maybe I can get it straight. Let's see here. It's so minute that it's going to be hardly anything, but it still needs to be done. Okay, so let's see if that did it. I think we're just about there. Yeah, this is what it takes. Okay, yeah, I think that is going to be good. So then I do the same thing for the outside piece. That's what I've been doing. And so you're not going to see any of this. It's just going to be under the fabric. Once I get this on here, it's going to be all covered up with fabric. So this piece is, see, I cut the length first and I got that all perfect, and then all I have to do is cut the width now. So this width here, I've been just kind of getting it over the holes and inside that spine where it folds, so about right there. I want it wide enough though, so again I might have to cut it a couple times to make sure I don't cut it too slim. Okay, so let me see how this looks when I'm, okay. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be good. Alright, let's see how we did. Yeah, I thought you might enjoy just doing these spines with me today. I wasn't sure. I kind of wanted to work on some pages, but I figured I might as well go ahead and get these covers finished. And then I'll have all the covers done, and then I can go to town on the pages. Okay, that looks good. So it's kind of debatable on whether to do the inside or outside piece of cardboard first. I guess I'll do this outside piece first. So I'm using Fabri-Tac to glue these down. So I'm using quite a bit of Fabri-Tac to make sure it's all going to stay down and stuck together. But I'm putting it on here. I think I'll put it on here. And then I put it on the cardboard too. And in between the holes here, in the middle part, okay, it's kind of overkill, really. I'm probably putting too much glue on here, but I just want to make sure. So I think this was my outside piece, right? Hope so. I gotta just threw them both to the side, but they should be about the same anyway. So we'll see. We shall see when I put it down. If it's not the outside piece, I'll grab the other one real quick. But I think this was it. It should fit either or anyway. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Okay, so then I've been just placing it down and getting my little scraper here and kind of just pushing it down into the glue so that, you know, because it has those holes, I want it to be all kind of down on here. So, and I don't want to get any glue on my cover, like over where I'm not going to have fabric, so I'm being careful with that. Okay, now I'm also being careful with this. And I haven't had any trouble with it yet, but I feel some glue on there, so I don't want to put glue on my cover. I'm going to move that and get another little thing here to protect my surface and go ahead with the inside piece of cardboard here. So again, I want to measure this real quick and make sure it's going to fit in here. Still fitting pretty nicely. There's a thread or something there. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm just almost thinking I need to cut off another sliver here. I just want to make sure this is fitting in here. Yeah, it's right in there. Okay, I mean, it should be good. And everything looks straight. Okay, so let me get this. There's a drip here. Let me wipe it on the cardboard. And I'm just going to go ahead and put glue on my cardboard this time. I'm kind of leaning toward the Aida cloth on this one because the other one had the red in it, and I just had to use the red. It had the red raspberry, so I absolutely had to use that red gingham. It just was so perfect when I put it on there, but this one can go either way. So we will see in just a second. Okay, that's more than enough glue, I would say. Okay. So I'm going to bend it to make sure I put it exactly where I need it. Here, down into the spine. Yes, that's perfect. Push it down in there. Yeah, it's right in there. Okay. And now I want to make sure it's in the going. Like the glue can almost go through, or it can go through those holes and just attach to the other piece of cardboard besides the original spine. It can just all meld together. That's my goal here. And so now I'm just, by pushing this down, I think I'm really just kind of melding it all together, you know, where the glue is just going, you know, being spread everywhere underneath this cardboard. So, all right, that looks good. Nice and sturdy. Okay, so let's decide on, I didn't get any glue on there this time. This looks like it's all, let me push this down one more time on this side. I'm going to let it sit open for a minute so it can dry a little bit before we put the fabric on. So I'm not going to bend it anymore right now. Let's see, so here it is. Let's try this. I think with these colors that this Aida cloth is going to look perfect. So the way I did it, let me bring the other one over here. I had to cut two pieces. So I cut one here, and see, where did I wrap it around? I wrapped it around on the bottom with the with the top piece. Okay, that's what I did. So I cut the top piece. Then I'm going to cut now a little longer than the book. So I just went like this. I decided where I wanted my fabric, and also went over. I'm pushing it down a little bit so I can see the top of the book here, and I want it to go like from here over to about like right there. This one I put, let me see how far I went over from the spine. It's really hard to even see, but just about, I mean, a good ½ an inch, I would say. So not even an inch. So a good ½ an inch would be about right there. And I think that's good for the front. Okay, so about right. I don't want to skip myself. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more, a little bit more over. Okay, I just want to make sure I have enough because I want to fray this a little bit. And I'll show you this Aida cloth frays really nice. And this you can't tear, you have to cut. You can't, I mean, I didn't try to tear it, I just assume, I'm assuming that I can't tear this, so I'm cutting it. So, I don't know, if you've ever torn it, let me know, but I didn't try to tear it, I just figured I would cut it because it's just, it's pretty thick, and it's not like, you know, cotton fabric or anything like that. It's a thick, kind of like burlap fabric, but it's not burlap. It's burlap colored. Okay, so that's my extra. All right, so let's see. See the little strings you can grab really easy and fray this a little bit, and it looks really pretty. And so we'll do a fray on the top, and then we will glue it down. So I glued the fabric with the red and white gingham with art glitter glue because I was afraid that the fabric tack would show through, but this is a thicker fabric here, so I used the fabric tack on this Aida cloth to cover, and it didn't show through. And if you're worried about it showing through, I would say just put it on and then spread it out a little bit with your finger or whatever you spread things out. If you want to use gloves and you don't want to touch the fabric tack, go for that with a glove or a little spreading tool. I should get a spreading tool, but I haven't. I know there's one at Dollar Tree that people are using, so I might invest in one of those and try it out. Okay, I'll add more glue later if I need it on my cover. I just don't want to go over too far. Okay, so I'm going to go right up to the top, make sure I have I'm going to pull out one more string here to have enough fray on the top. And you see how pretty that is? That nice little fray there. Isn't that pretty? It frays really nice. Okay, so then put it down on my book here. And I'm going to have that fray right at the top. In fact, the fray is going a little bit over the top. And then push it all down into glue. Okay, I don't want it over that far. I put it over a little bit too far. I don't want it on top of this book plate. Okay. And then I did do this with the other one too. I spread it out like this. I feel like I'm spreading the glue out. Okay. And so, there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around. I don't know if I want that much wrapped around. I'm going to cut this off a little bit. I can always use this little piece in a cluster or something. That little square. Okay, so again, my glue is dripping here. So let's wipe this off. Put it to use. And then add a little bit more. Oh, I might have to get a new one out real quick. Okay. So I'm going to spread that around a little bit with the nozzle, at least. Okay, and I'm going to leave that on its side for a second. Pull this up. Mush it into the glue. Technical term there. Mushing is very important, right? Okay, and then I'm going to get my other piece for the inside. So yeah, here's what I have left. This is all I have left of this. No, here's a good piece right here. Maybe. I don't know, then I have to deal with all this, so maybe I'll just do this over here on the side. Yeah, oh, see, this, I had to do this before too. When I turned it up, I had to hold it down for a minute so it could start drying, so it would stay in place. Getting glue all over me though. Okay, so I want to measure my width, and I want it the same width as the outside piece, so about right there. So let's see, yeah, that should be good, about right there. And then I'm going to cut that because I had to cut it before. Let me put that over there and let that dry. Start drying anyway. Okay, so there's my slit. Let's cut this piece, and I'm going to try to cut it straight here. Okay, the Aida cloth does kind of have a grid on it, you know, from the weave of the fabric, so it kind of is okay cutting it because you can kind of see the weave and see where you're cutting, and it makes it a little easier to cut a straight line, hopefully, right? Okay, so it's too long, but we're going to cut it down. So it's going to be like this. Let me go ahead and cut my piece, my length. So like this. And then I'm going to fray it a little bit. Let's see, make sure that's straight. Yeah, looks pretty straight. And then pull some threads out for the fray. See, the threads just pull out really easy if you've never worked with this. Yeah, I discovered this. I mean, I have done cross-stitching when I was a teenager. I think I did some cross-stitching, but maybe even as a young adult when I was in my 20s. But so I remember the Aida cloth But when I saw this in the thrift store, I was like, that could really work for something. And I first got the regular creamy color, and then I found this one. I love this one the most, so it's really, really, really nice. Okay, so now more glue. I don't know, I don't think I'm going to try to sew this one because that second one just kind of gave me such a hard time. I'm afraid now. I don't want to break my sewing machine. I don't know why the first one went so smoothly. Maybe that somehow that cover was thinner, or maybe just wherever I was sewing I got a thinner spot. I don't know what happened. But the first one went so smoothly, and the second one just gave my sewing machine a really hard time. So I don't want to chance it. So I think I mean, like I said, it didn't really need to be glued. I mean, sewn. I just wanted to try it. So I did. I tried it. And so I'm not going to try it on this one now. I know how it works. Okay, so let's see. We've got lots of glue on there. I'm going to spread this one around just a tiny bit with my fingers. And then we'll go from there. So now I'm going to start at the top, get it even with my fabric on the outside, and get the top where I want it, push it down, and make sure it's straight. It looks straight. Okay. There's a little bit of glue right there that I don't want. Let me grab a wet wipe here. Right under my desk. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's two. Let me separate those. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, let me get this right here too. Okay, so a little bit of glue under this part that overlaps. I didn't put glue there yet to glue the top layer down. So, let's take care of that. And this is exactly what I did on the other one. The other one that I showed you. Okay. Now the other one, I did leave it flat for a little while until it dried. And I found that to be the best way to do it. Don't immediately bend it maybe for any journal. Don't immediately bend it, because if it's not dry or glued, it's glued down, but if it's not dry, it might come up and make wrinkles, and then you gotta spread it out again and try to get it straight again. And so I'm probably gonna have to end it here and let this dry, but it's going to look like this one, except it won't have sewing on it. And so you see how nice and straight that is. It's I just let it dry before I bent it. So, and that's how it was before I sewed it too. I didn't sew it for any reason except to have, well, it does give it an extra, it gives me peace of security that, it's sewn and glued, but I just don't want to break my sewing machine, so I don't want to sew again. But you never know, I might try it. I might try it down here, and then if it starts going through this one easier, I don't know. Let me feel these. Why one would be so much harder than the other one. I don't think they feel any different, so I don't know why it gave me such a hard time. I might just have to try it again though. But anyway, I think that's going to look nice. Once it dries, I'll bend it, and then you'll see it in my other videos after I start working on the pages and everything. So I hope you enjoyed the new spines on these two that are already done, and I'll see you in my next video working on these maybe on Wednesday of this week. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.